Greetings to my subscribers. This is news that you probably will not be able to get from the mainstream media. Just as the mainstream media could not tell us the truth about Sarah Palin somehow or the other, they fumbled the ball. They just didn't get it. The mainstream press will not be able to explain to the American public the relevance, the horrible tragedy occurring among the dissenters of the dictatorship of Iran. The press will be exposed by this because they are clearly on the side of evil and clearly covering up an atrocity. Obama is exposed by this because he is clearly on the side of evil and is covering up an atrocity. Just as somehow or the other the mainstream press just couldn't quite figure out Sarah Palin, couldn't manage to portray her accurately, the press will do the same thing with this story. Try to basically cover it up, but distort it in such a way as the meaning will never enter the minds of the American people. The MEK are freedom fighters. They are dissenters. They were sending email messages, propaganda, if you will, into Iran to stir up dissent. And that's probably a large part of the dissent that occurred after the rigged elections when Mahmoud Ahmadinejad was supposedly re-elected recently, and the people took to the streets in peaceful protest, and because they were a nuisance to these dictators, simply because these people were a nuisance and an embarrassment to them, the paramilitary people's sort of National Guard, the same as the National Guard, and the police force, both shot at these people at random, killing these people at random as they protested peacefully in the streets, doing nothing but throwing a rock and yelling. The MEK was an enclave of resistance fighters in the area near the border of Iran and Iraq. They are associated with the National Council for the Resistance in Iran, based, I believe, in Belgium. These people have been slandered, laughed at, unjustly labeled terrorists. Yeah, they're terrorists because they're wanting to overthrow the dictatorship of Iran. Now, after being disarmed by the U.S. military, the U.S. is beginning to turn Iraq over to the Iraqi people. No. The U.S. is beginning to turn Iraq over to the dictatorship of Iran. The dictatorship of Iran, the raghead mullahs, led by the face, the front man, Ahmadinejad, have been trying to establish a political control over Iraq for 20 years at least. The MEK is one of the biggest dissenting groups. Khomeini's ragheads hijacked the Iranian Revolution in 1979. They are not legitimate. The people never elected them, chose them. These people hijacked a revolution which was meant to overthrow the Shah, whom they deemed as oppressive. Khomeini's bunch are 100 times more oppressive than the Shah, who was ousted.